Who is your designer?
Well, I've got a guy here that I'm going to call that designs parks. I don't think we need a designer for the entire park.
Do you need a design for the park?
I think the park is pretty much designed.
Well, the reason I came today is
right.
I'm Suzanne Glen. I've lived in the county for 25 years. And I'll be very honest with you, I was horrified when I saw what was done to the entrance of the park, all the cutting of the limbs and the trees and the removal of the yuccas. And, because I think the sleepy, dreamy quality of old-timey Oakdale Park was something that I was hoping was going to be preserved by the city. I supported the city buying the park. I think it was a mistake not to call in a landscape architect and an arborist and a historian immediately after you purchased the property to make an assessment of the entire property. I think there needs to be a detailed drawing of the plan. You've got some great ideas, you've done a lot of work. It's going to be a big project, clearly, but what about the history of this place? What about the ambiance?
The history is one of our #1 priorities.
Well, I don't see that happening, and I'm not. Granted, I'm sort of an outsider.
I don't understand how cutting some trees down affects the history.
It affects the character of the place, and
right.
There was a lot of discussion that I read about, and one meeting that I came to that preserving the character of Oakdale was important. This is an historical property. It doesn't just belong to the city of Glen. It belongs to a whole lot of people
right.
who have come here and loved it. And of course, we can't go back and glue limbs back on trees.
Well, part of the issue with the trees is that RVs have gotten so big now, and Cindy can tell you, they had big, nice motorhomes trying to get in here that couldn't get in.
17-foot of clearance.
I understand, but do you think it was wise just to send in a crew without an assessment of the landscaping, which is, this is old, mature landscaping here? I mean, we can't go back. You can't go back.
Well,
I think it's critical at this point that you get a handle on that.
And that's what we're doing right now. I mean, that's kind of what this whole focus group and everybody here that's interested in, that's what we're doing. I mean, I've got a guy that designs and does RV parks. We got Karen here that, I mean, I think she'll help us from a horticulture standpoint, a landscaping standpoint. The history, we're looking at preserving every building. Yes?
We were cut down tree roots, tree and branches and stuff, I believe.
There was a couple of trees that were cut down, but they were...
We took out some that were actually, one was dead, and the other one was being held up by it, and it was very dangerous. It had a chain in between it.
Right. The whole look of the place has been totally changed.
Right.
And you have totally changed the reality for your residents whose properties back up here. I think if you did some really drastic work very quickly, and I think it was a mistake, but...
Right, and we've got different opinions from everybody. We've got some good things, and we've got some bad things.
Well,
and I understand we're not going to make everybody happy, but the only reason we did the trimming was for the people that are going to stay here.
But where is the plan that says this is what we want to preserve? It needs to be on paper so that you all can see it, an aerial view, so that you can be very clear. I mean, I live in an old house and I have not had a good plan, and I eat it all the time, you know. It's very critical to preserve the heart of Oakdale Park.
When we first started this, we talked about calling the design firm to come look at it, and I think that's what we're doing here is kind of see where we can go.
Suzanne, a lot of the limbs that were trimmed, that was over the road, and they were hanging down this way, and they were dragging the top of the RVs.
Okay, why were the yuccas bulldozed up? They're wonderful plants, no maintenance whatsoever. Just, I mean, my idea of cleaning up a landscape and someone else's idea could be two radically different things. I think there was not enough direction.
Well,
but again, what's done is done.
What's done is done.
Where do we go from here?
And that's what we're discussing. And the other thing is, we already know we're not going to satisfy everybody. And, you know, I think that You know, we've got a vision, we want to preserve the buildings, we want to get them up to code. We're going to preserve the historic feel of an old RV park campground. You know, one thing that makes everything look so drastic is this place had gone to hell. I mean, trees have not been trimmed. The 2 trees he was talking about, they were chained together. When they broke the chain, I mean, the trees, I mean, just
Well, I mean,
went like
obviously,
that.
you've got danger, and then you do have to make room for your larger RVs.
Right. I mean,
But, you
Pretty
know,
much all they did, and they looked like they'd done it. That's pretty much what they were cutting.
So with suggestions like this, I mean, we can go back and carry, we can go back, can't put back the other one.
Right.
Go back and replant.
restore.
and restore
well,
something.
and you know, I mentioned that up here earlier, is that develop a landscaping plan for the entire park.
And I
That's,
think it's critical to plan, if I may interject here, that what was concerning, like Mr. Cosio was upset because the branches going over his fence were cut. There is a service road along that fence, but that doesn't appear to be an RV route. Where are the RV routes? I understand you need full clearance, but are RVs driving the entire park? Where are their routes? You know,
Right.
to where certainly they need access.
Well, and that's where
Where are they gonna be? Where's the tent?
Right.
Where do you think the pavilion's gonna be in relation to the old cabins?
well, that's where
Because the scale changes when you start putting in a mega structure.
And this
You
is
do a
artful,
So
though.
this is.
and this is where the RV park
Yeah.
consultant that I'm gonna call Monday, that's where they'll